probably a month-long hiatus to the Fnatic's Brush podcast. I am your host, Matt Scott. Thank you for tuning in today. I'm just gonna turn that music off for now. But a lot of catching up to do since our last broadcast. So much that it's actually snowing outside despite being a few weeks into spring. So that's not scary at all in terms of global warming. That's a completely other subject. Today we'll be going through the first 2 weeks of playoffs, who are well underway now. Looking at the results, teams who have been already eliminated since we've done that would be like 80% of losers bracket. Have a look at the current standings of finals, which will be this weekend. As usual, little deep dive into Fnatic's performances. That's why we're gathered here today. And finals week prediction to see, well, first of all, to do an update on the scores, which, by the way, doesn't look good for me. I've been completely distanced. You guys will see. I don't know. I don't think I have updated it, but I have them written on my paper here, so I'll update them live. But yeah, you guys smashed me in the prediction, so congratulations. I don't think there's a way for me to come back into this. So yeah, that's the situation. With that said, let's catch up on the action from the past 2 weeks. Looking first at round 1, which is the upper part of what's appearing on your screen right now, with the upper bracket that consisted of Rogue versus Misfits and Fnatic versus G2. Both similar scores, 3-1, 3-1, with two really distinct, I would say, playstyle. You had Rogue versus Misfits, which was very much in control. Misfits did not look anywhere close to their level that they've showcased during the whole season, which was a bit expected, to be honest, because I think they were able to get away with their performances in a best of 1. But in a best of 5, I don't think they have as much flexibility. You look at, for instance, at Neon, who was shining mainly on Jinx, and I don't think during that best of 5 he actually had the chance to play her once. So was pretty much invisible. VTO was hard shut down except for the game they won. But apart from that, Rogue played very well, very much in control. I believe it was game 1, actually, where Rogue was kind of struggling to end the game. They still managed to get the win, obviously, but it's a bit of a difficult one for them. And what happened was that... Crap, I'm drawing a blank. I'm confusing with other game. I can't remember how this one finished. Oh well. I'll wait for some other time. I'm very tired, by the way, guys. I had to update all of this content last minute because for some reason Streamlabs decided to delete all of my stuff, so I had to rush to create this. I hope you appreciate it. But yeah, what was I saying? So Rogue, Misfits, very much one way, clear favorite with Rogue. Fnatic G2, we'll go a bit more into the details, but a much more chaotic game, as very much any Fnatic versus G2 game is. Similar score, but a bit of a different way of playing this. I don't want to say too much, or else I'm just gonna ruin my Fnatic segment. But Fnatic win. That's what counts against G2. Sending them into losers bracket. Misfits as well. Obviously, Misfits being the most the highest ranked team out of the two losers, so they get to be further down into the losers bracket and having to play less game to get to the finals. Speaking of losers bracket, within the round one, so that's I think that was the biggest banger maybe was Excel versus Vitality, which was really I think an unexpected game. So from my personal point of view, um, I I thought Vitality was gonna win, but much harder. I thought that with the veterancy of the players that they had on their team, that the best of five would suit them much more. Unfortunately, the problems that they had during regular season, they had during the playoffs as well. It didn't change. It was just instead of being a best of five, it was a best of one 5 times, basically, if that makes sense. Where there didn't seem to be any adaptability. They're just playing each game as they came, and it's like you win, I win, you lose, I lose. It was so back and forth. And at one point, we actually thought that XL was gonna win. They were up 2-1, which unfortunately is Perk's comfort zone, and they managed to bring it back on what was two somewhat unthrilling games when it's supposed to be a close best of five. The draft of Excel in the last game of going with Mordekaiser, and I can't remember, there was another pick that was just really weird. It felt like they lacked options and answers to what else they could have gone for. Oh, Loki, thank you for you are the single viewer today. Yeah, it is what it is. But thank you for coming by. What's my ID number? Uh, I'd have to check. I'd have to check. I'll let you know. Probably send it to you in DMs if you want. I'll have to check. I don't have my account right now. But thanks for coming by, Loki. Appreciate it. Back onto topic. So Vitality, obviously being the super team that everyone spoke about, just barely manages to get through. Excel, who by the way were first time qualifying on playoffs, and almost kicked them out. So current standing was Rogue versus Fnatic going into the second round for the upper bracket. Then G2 Vitality facing for the next match in the losers bracket, and the winner of this game going against Misfits. Now, with that structure, it was for me pretty clear that G2 was gonna make it through. Because even though G2 lost against Fnatic, they're definitely way more solid than Vitality and Misfits. I think the most disappointing team has been Misfits during the playoffs, because we were excited to see what they could provide during the playoffs with a decent third place in the standings. But when you look at their game, they look completely lost. Like, it didn't seem that on their team they had the current MVP. By the way, they just announced MVP. VTO got the MVP. It didn't look like they had an MVP player. Like, VTO got completely shut down on both games. And G2 versus G2 versus Okay, let me just take the losers bracket in order first. G2 versus Vitality is the biggest series of choking that I've ever seen from a super team. It's actually disgraceful with a team with so much experience to be genuinely running it down when you have an advantage and or when you manage to capitalize on a massive play, and instead of focusing a neutral objective like Dragon or Baron to actually greed for more kills, even though you have um, numbers advantage. You're like, no, I need that extra 300 gold. Instead of securing was it a soul or elder? It made no sense. It genuinely looked like they were getting PayPal by Carlos. It was so weird. It was so weird. I don't know who made the decisions, who was shot calling in those moments. That that makes no sense. That is some Whippo Hilly level of overcommitment. That's not a team that has guys like Selfmade, Alfari, Perks, which I feel are much more reserved in like going for chases and are a bit smarter when it comes to like capitalizing on important moments of the game to get back or just to close the game. And at different points of the series, that's what happened. They just completely switched their brains off and went for the most ridiculous play you could think of. Like you're genuinely wondering if it was a pro game or my solo queue game. Seriously. So that 3-0 from G2, if, and I mean if, Vitality's players' brains were connected, does not end with that scoreline. Potentially, I think G2 still wins. I think it's a much closer series. Probably 3-1, even 3-2. But I don't know. I don't know. The G2 were literally given the keys to make this series feel. And then as they move forward into the losers bracket, they go against Misfits, who I don't even know why they're still playing at this stage. Yeah, G2 didn't even have to sweat during this series. Listen, Misfits played so poorly, they actually made Flacket look good. That's how bad it is. We're talking about the guy who, even when G2 drafted their cheese comp against Fnatic with the karma shields and everything, was still managing to get caught and burst down, mainly by Humanoid. So they had to play pretty much a funnel comp that could not destroy the hard carry, because he's on Aphelios. And even then, he was positioning so poorly that the game went way longer than it should have been. Even though it was a stomp, I believe it didn't end before 30 minutes. And now Misfits is actually making Flacket looking like an MVP candidate. Like, what happened? Everyone was praising Neon, by the way. I don't get it. When I say praising Neon, they were praising Neon during the regular season. People saying, oh, he's like one of the best ADCs, he's completely undervalued. Take it as it is, for my opinion. I'm not a pro player, I'm not a caster, I don't go deep into analyzing the game. But from my point of view, if Neon doesn't have Jinx, he is irrelevant as a player. I don't know what you guys think. You let me know in the comments. For those watching on YouTube, send me a tweet at @mascot_ at IFB podcast. Let me know your opinion. That's my take. That's my take on the losers bracket. Now, I have to talk about something that's not so nice, which was Rogue Fnatic reverse sweep. Oh man, actually, you know what? I'm not going to talk about it in this segment. I'm going to talk about it in the Fnatic segment. Might as well. Might as well move forward. So first, let's talk about the good stuff. Let's talk about kicking G2 down to losers bracket. Right. 3-1 game. 4 games of LeBlanc on Humanoid, who was rightfully the MVP. But throughout these 4 games, he played so exceptionally well that it's actually scary to realize that he's able to just lock in blindly a champion and have absolutely insane, like MVP level performances. Now we knew that, well, from last year, obviously, that Humanoid, when he goes into playoffs, goes into a different mode, right? But that was just monster, monster level of LeBlanc. And it's actually really nice to finally have, since pretty much Caps, very good LeBlanc player. I think we missed such a player who can just pick LeBlanc blindly and have these kind of performances. It's insane. It's insane. And it's such a good sign. And I think someone else, well, the whole team played really well, but I wanted to shout out Razork for having a very good start to the playoffs, and Wunder for having very good Jace performances as well. Obviously, there was this one happy game against Caps Karma, which was a bit of a nuisance to play against. A lot of team fights and situations that ended with just 1 HP, and Yankos Hecarim that was just causing problems. But in the end, very solid 3-1, big stomp game, always taking the advantage in team fights, better macro overall. But always very scrappy, obviously against G2. But I think overall, a performance they can be proud of, especially just locking in LeBlanc 4 games in a row, and then whatever happens, happens. But still be able to have this kind of showcase from Humanoid, and that round 1 was pretty positive. So not much to add about this series. Pretty straightforward. Which obviously brings me to the unfortunate round 2 performance, which man, I have no idea what happened. We played the first 2 games really well. We're ahead. Admittedly, the first game went a bit haywire. It went way further than expected, but we still managed to close it after a crazy like post Elder team fight. And a very weird Larson TP that pretty much gave us the game. Let's be honest. Like Larson's TP was, if that was in my solo queue game, I would have spammed the question mark ping until I was timed out for pings on the game. Because he got exploded straight away from all the poke that Fnatic had. But this game and the next game were absolute masterclass performances from Razork. Like Razork, if you look at the games, was outpacing Malrang in terms of his position on the map. Was staying ahead in terms of farm. So Malrang, for those who don't realize, Malrang will sacrifice a lot of his own farm to put ahead his lanes. So he won't mind being 20, 30 CS behind if that means that his lanes are a few kills ahead, a few plates ahead, and can pretty much carry themselves going forward. What happened is that that forces Malrang obviously to have a lot of map presence to continually get lanes and just put a lot of pressure against the opponent. Razork was able to match that, to be all over the map, to be there first on the lanes, to not have to sacrifice too much of his farm and still be ahead of Malrang, and still have most of the control on the neutral objectives, so Herald and Drakes. Which, when you think about it, it's pretty intense to be able to do all three things. Right? Usually you'll do one thing and have to sacrifice another part. Like if you take a lot of time for ganks, that means you spend less time in your jungle, so you spend less time farming. If you spend more time farming and scale up, like like a Diana who likes to farm a lot to get to level 6 and try to impact the map and a bit more of a late game champion, um, then you have less presence on the map and probably also less presence on the neutral objectives. If you're on the neutral objectives, then well, you're spending time with your team to take down those objectives, who are missing out on potential to farm, and you're sort of um, prolonging your timers on camp respawn in your jungle. So you always have to sacrifice one part or have to change the mechanic of something on the map to do one of these things. And Razork was able to cycle between those three elements pretty convincingly, to the point where like game 2 was very okay, maybe not a stomp per se, but was very much a controlled performance by the team, and it just looked like we were going for a 3-0 at this stage. Like Rogue could not match us. And then going from the third game, we go with Twisted Fate, which they answer with Silas and Hackerim, if I'm not mistaken. Let me all check all of that. Actually, give me 2 seconds, because I had the. I had, what did I have? I had playoffs. No, what am I looking for? LEC. That's what I'm looking for. I had the match sheet. That's what I'm looking for. Match list. That's the exact term. Match list. There we go. Sorry. What am I looking for again? Rogue Fnatic. There we go. Hello? Rogue Fnatic? There we go. Right, so, third game. Oh my god, this is not easy to read. Okay. Yeah, so we go with the Twisted Fate Cyan Diana combo, and they go with the Silas Hackerim. And we just get completely obliterated, right? And for some reason, we force 3 times this Twisted Fate and don't bind Salas, and Humanoid gets absolutely curb stomped, man. Like, this is not a Humanoid performance. And you have to ask questions like, why are we forcing Twisted Fate even though it's not working, when we've seen the previous games that what's his name? A Humanoid can play. Well, first of all, he can play the LeBlanc properly, the Corki, Oriana. Probably put in a Victor in there or something. Like, I don't get it why we've put ourselves into a Twisted Fate that clearly Rogue have responses to, and repeated that insanity of saying, it'll work next time, forcing this, and get completely curb stomped in 23 minutes, which is a very quick game in pro standards, and do nothing about it. Like, the fourth game, we were behind. Like, the game ends with a deficit of 17,000 gold. In 23 minutes, 17,000 gold. Are you sure about that? That is terrible. That is terrible. So I don't understand what happened here. Like, what was the objective? What we were going for? Why we've repeated this comp 3 times? So my takeaway from all of this, right? going into next week. Oh, sorry, this week I should say, facing G2 in what I guess semifinals we call it. Our third place match is. I'm not afraid about our performance. Obviously, it's a bit like if you look at performance recency from both of these teams, G2 comes out from two 3-0 performances, even though you can argue that some games against Vitality should have not been won by them, but that's a whole different conversation. And Fnatic start with two great games against Rogue and then just fumble the ball so hard that they get reverse swept. So that hurts in terms of the mentality, in terms of the morale, in terms of self confidence as well. When you know that, I think players like Razork, um, I think his performance bases itself a lot on his self confidence, and you can see as his self confidence improves, the level he's been able to bring. Like he was very good in those first two games against Rogue, right? And even the games against G2, he definitely carried his weight. And I think Razork is really having a positive progression in terms of his curve within Fnatic, and he's getting up there. Like if you listen to the voice comms, he speaks a lot and stuff like this. But I hope and I believe that we will put enough work going into the G2 game and prepped more strategies and not confine ourselves. I seriously do not want to see a Twisted Fate game. And if I do see a Twisted Fate game, I hope that we take the necessary bans to prevent stuff like Silas, which Cavs is very good on, by the way, or the Rise. Right? With that said, I think we'll have more variety in terms of the playstyle. I still think it's going to be a 3-1 for Fnatic on this game. And then going against Rogue, who will have had a best of 5 to look at to prepare. We will have to see if we don't fall into the same traps. If we're able to, I want to see the same consistency that we had in first two games against Rogue, and just not mentally collapse for some reason, and go for some weird drafts. Play it safe, play it controlled, and then go forward. As they've said many times, if they do not win LEC, it'll be a massive underperformance. Because this is the team that needs to win the LEC. This is the real super team. Everyone thought Vitality was a super team. Vitality is a scam. Okay? And I called it. I said Vitality doesn't have the structure to be a proper super team. They might surprise because they have perks. But in the history of LEC/EU LCS, every super team that existed, Elements, Misfits 2019, I believe, G2 last year, and a Vitality have not lived up to their performance, to their expectations, sorry. I believe that we're the real super team because we have the right pieces at the right place. We're able to do those, to bring in those performances. We have to be a bit more consistent, a bit more flexible in our drafting to not, I don't know, be so stubborn that we go twisted fate. Next time it's gonna work. Next time it's gonna work. Next time it's gonna work, and allow ourselves to stray away from those picks. So yeah, I'm just very curious what happened. Maybe I haven't had the chance to listen to voice comms because I've been crazy busy lately. So maybe that's what I'll do after this podcast. But yeah, we could have potentially had a conversation about Fnatic just chilling in finals, which would have been so nice. But well, the only thing I'm hoping is that we're chilling with the LEC Cup on Sunday, and that most of all we don't lose to G2. Because if we lose to G2, this is the biggest humiliation we can go through, unfortunately. So fingers crossed. I'm confident in our boys. I'm still gonna be stressed as fuck when I'm gonna watch the best of five, as probably most of you guys are gonna be as well. And hope for the best. Just hope for the best. But yeah, I don't think I have much more to add on this topic. Just let's go, guys. Let's go. Bring home that LEC trophy. We've been waiting for. If there's ever a team in recent history of Fnatic to lift the LEC trophy, this is the one. There's all the components there. God damn it, if we do not win the LEC, man. That'll be such a missed opportunity. And I cannot live with that, dude. I will hide. I will go into a cave until next season. But anyways, time to jump into the predictions, which are here. Nope, they're not here. They are here. You didn't see that. Yeah, I do need to update the scores, right? Give me a second, guys. So, the scores have updated. So you have week 8 scores, round 1 and round 2 of playoffs, which gives me a total of 64, which is nice. But you guys have, drum roll, 76. Jesus. You are crushing me. You are crushing me, guys. This is not a fun day. This is not a fun day. But nonetheless, yes. So as I am sinking into my chair because I'm so tired. Before I just obviously talk about my predictions, I've been also late in sending you guys the prediction type form, which is available on the IFB podcast Twitter. Go fill it in right now. Click on the link. There's two scores to fill up. I need you guys' predictions so to see how hard you're gonna crush me. Here's my predictions if you want to ever get inspired and maybe match my predictions so we have the same score in the end and you just win by default. But in any case, I'm going for double 3-1. I'm really going with the full hopium of Fnatic has worked super hard during the week. They've prepped, they're ready to go. Humanoid is going to be on an extra level. Razork is going to continue performing super well, and we're not going to take any bullshit. We're maybe going to lose one game for draft diff, but every other game we're going to, if we don't necessarily have a way better draft, we're going to have better macro, better execution, and god damn it, we are winning the LEC. We are winning the LEC. I do not care. I don't want to hear about it. Or even, who knows, maybe we even win 3-0 against G2. I'll go as far as saying that. People were praising Flacked. Dude, this guy is nothing against the Fnatic bot lane. I'm going to go 3-1 with G2, with Fnatic. Oh my god, did I curse this? No, 3-1 Fnatic, 3-1 Fnatic. No. 3-1 Fnatic. Maybe 3-0 Fnatic. And then 3-1 Fnatic against Rogue. That's my predictions. Let me know what you guys think. Vote on the type form on this direction. No, this direction over there. IFB podcast, guys. At IFB podcast. Recent tweet done today. And when I mean today, I mean the 8th of April. For those watching on YouTube who are not maybe watching on the day of showcase. No, what am I saying? Of publishing. Why did I say showcase? Anyways, so you can fill in your predictions. You can match mine. You can go crazier. Maybe 3-0, 3-0. Screw it. Hopium, copium. But that's it, guys. That's it for what's left of the LEC spring split. Oh, just one thing. Fnatic Team Queso, which is Fnatic Academy, just won their region, and they're gonna play EUM on 14th of April. So make sure to tune in to support our academy boys. They are very good, and they're one of the favorites to win the EUM. So imagine we won LVP, which is the Spanish league. We win LEC. We win EUM. Only need to win MSI. By the way, MSI, LPL representative might not be able to make it. Imagine that. The gates are open. But yeah, guys, I need to go to bed. Seriously, I'm so tired. But nonetheless, oh yeah, I'm wearing my Fnatic hoodie. I forgot. Do you guys know this hoodie? It has the Cyrillic names in the back. I can't be bothered turning around. It's one of the best hoodies Fnatic made. Fnatic, if you're watching, anyone from marketing that's watching, make something similar like this, where it's all embroidered and everything, and you have a sort of original design in the back. We need stuff like this again. By the way, did you guys get your Fnatic key Pioneer core? I got mine. So I'll be showcasing my key to any live events, obviously, and meeting the players personally, especially Hillisang. Any case, guys, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching. Fingers crossed we win it all this weekend. I'm gonna be stressed as fuck. I'm gonna get drunk on Saturday. I'm doing a party with my friends. So yeah. And on Sunday I don't know in which state I'm gonna be. So I'm probably gonna be like trying to survive the previous day while Fnatic is playing the finals. So it is what it is, guys. Again, thank you for your time, for tuning in, for watching. Speak to you soon. Probably next week. Always Fnatic. Let's go Fnatic. Let's win the goddamn LEC, dude. See you later. Bye bye.